Following Friday's shooting tragedy in Connecticut, demonstrations for and against new gun control laws continued in front of the White House over the weekend. In fact, the Brady campaign plans to march on the NRA this morning. Some of the demonstrations have been organized by the Coalition to Stop Violence. Yeah, this is the thing. And this is where I'm going to surprise a lot of people. People were all up in arms. If anybody was on Facebook on Friday, you no doubt saw people trying to save the world through their Facebook status, which A, is ridiculous, and B, is ridiculous. Saying that we need to ban guns on Facebook doesn't do anybody any good. People are all up in arms calling for gun control, and that's because they're mad. So to that, I say, you know what? Good. Call for gun control. Throw your hands up in the air and say that we need to ban all assault weapons. Go for it. By all means. But just know that that's not the answer. Just know that all you're really doing is trying to make yourself feel better. But guess what? Here's the ugly truth. We don't get to feel better on this one. We don't get to feel better about this. This is a horrible, horrible thing. And yet here we are reading the news, and the news is asking over and over and over again, why? Why? What drove this man? Who cares why? We know who did it. And for that, we are fortunate. We know that the man is dead. Again, we are fortunate. Because this evil, evil man cannot do it again. We know who did it, and we know he won't do it anymore. The end. We don't care why. I don't care why. There is no answer good enough as to why. Is that what the news wants? Is that what CNN wants? As they're putting a 7-year-old kindergartner who just watched his friends die in class? Is that what they're hoping to prove by putting a 7-year-old on TV? They want to know why? As if there's an answer good enough to satisfy that question? No. I'm sorry. And this is where you need to remind yourself that the news is not a public service. The news is a profit center. The news is there to get ratings. Just like my show. Just like my show is not a public service. I'm here because I get paid. So is CNN. So is Fox News. So is Brian Williams on NBC. Anyway, you want to talk about gun control? We can talk about gun control. Go for it. I think gun control is something we should always be talking about. But talk about it all the time. Don't just talk about it when something bad happens. When a man goes driving through a farmer's market and kills 8 people in California, do you blame the car or do you blame the driver? When a man sets fire to a home, killing 5 of his family members, do you blame the fire or do you blame the man that set the fire? This is no different. Blaming video games, blaming music, blaming autism, blaming Asperger's syndrome, blaming mental illness, and yes, even blaming guns is not the answer. What we should be doing is blaming this evil turd of a man who should be rotting in hell. And I will applaud the first news agency that says that. You know what? We know what's to blame. This guy who deserves to spend an eternity rotting in hell. The end. Moving on, a group of economists say that the effects from Hurricane Sandy may hurt the country's growth rate in the last quarter of 2012. They expect a rebound next year. Most of the economy... Can I even pay attention to this story after that? I don't think I can. I'm sorry. I'm off the soapbox. We'll have a look at weather coming up. I'm sorry. Now I'm all pissed. We'll talk about the fiscal cliff later. Right now, Nirvana. It's all apologies on the Hawk.